Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm going to show you something quite interesting here. Now I've already made a video on the market cycle. This is going back about six months now before these recent pumps really took place. Kind of anticipating that these kind of moves would happen. So you'll have to go back, I'll leave a link above my head if you want to check all of that. And it's more of an informative video about what's going on with XRP in the long term and rough calculated price targets for its new all-time high in around 12 to 13 months from now. So what I wanted to show you now is a bit more of an overview of how this current situation has actually completely just it's completely unchanged, that market cycle. In fact, all it's done to me is strengthen it. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm going to show you a few things now, okay? So first thing I wanted to show you was this. So this is the XRP market cycle from the very first cycle, 2013. And what we'll see here is a parabolic move from its inception, and then 3-year consolidation all the way down. Looks very much like what we saw recently. In fact, let's go to the trading view. So this is our recent price target history, 2017 till today. So a giant big move up and stair steps down, and then I suppose a bit of a pump and dump. So now what I want to show you is actually how this basically resolved itself. So we go a little bit further. Again, you know, we don't have on trading view, to my knowledge, a chart like this. We have to use CoinGecko. So we saw these giant stair steps down, and then a giant fake out. Okay, so a massive move up, and then a drop all the way down. So from 40 cent down to its low of about 14 or 15 cent. Okay, so that's about 75% move down. So now what we're seeing here, we go back to modern times, our new cycle that we're in at the moment. Stair steps down and a big move up, and a retrace back down from there to here is... that's very annoying. It's about 75% or so. Let's have a look. Yeah, 75% basically, give or take about 70. Yeah, we'll call it 75%. So to me, it's very much like what's happened here, a 75% retracement from coming out of an accumulation zone, which was down here, a giant big move up, and a 75% retracement down. So pretty much an exact replica. Now, there was one thing that you will notice is the difference is that the big move up here was a lot bigger than what we've seen recently. And you know, what I would say in that respect is that the market cap back in these times with XRP was about 77. No, it was about 45 times less than what it is right now. Also, there was no opportunities to use leverage until around about mid 2017. So the market cap was extremely low for it, which meant that it took less money to make bigger wicks, bigger candles on this chart. Again, without leverage, when I first bought into this, there was no Binance, there was none of that. Yeah, I had to buy it in a really strange way. Basically, it's not as easy and as accessible as it was today. So yeah, the market cap was a lot less. So what you'll see is this big move. But again, the retracement, very interesting. So we had this consolidation down from the all-time high, this big parabolic move, which again doesn't look big now, but when you look at it on this time, it is big. And this is a 3-year consolidation, just like this one has been. And we are still technically, we're out of the consolidation, but we are into an accumulation zone, which is good. So what we've seen now is that we've got a previous market cycle that went up massively, parabolic high, 3-year downtrend, massive big pump, giant big dump, 75% retracement. So what we see here again is a very big parabolic move, consolidation down, big move up, and a 75% move back down again into what would be the reaccumulation zone. So now let's just have a look at this again, but what we'll do is we'll focus on the latter part, and again, this market cycle, even though it is due to complete roughly around the same time, because it's a 4-year market cycle, there is going to be slight discrepancies. In this sense, it would appear that this giant big pump, in my opinion, came a little bit too early. I was expecting it no earlier than around January, to maybe even May. But we got it already, so there is that discrepancy by a few months of when this fake out took place, but it did take place. So what happened? This is the fake out now, and again you can see that it does look like a molehill now rather than a big mountain. That's how it looked before. and then we reaccumulated, basically reaccumulating around a certain area, basically about half of where it was when it was at its fake out all-time high. And then at the very last moment, and this is how it always reacts, the very last moment, it made a giant, big, bold move up all the way to the top, basically dwarfing that fake out, which previously was enormous, and now it looks insignificant. But it wasn't. This was a big move, just like this was a big move, but realistically it will be dwarfed by the end result. So that is essentially the way I view this market cycle, and it's completely unchanged. The good thing is we got this Ichimoku Cloud cross on a monthly chart, still relevant, took place just last month. Extremely lagging indicator. This is likely to continue up. I don't have any reason to dispute this market cycle at the moment, but what I would suggest is that we're going to continue to reaccumulate during the in this area, all the way down from as low as 10 cent all the way up to a maximum of around 86 cent. Now the last thing I wanted to show you is something really interesting. We have a look at this and we see how many people and the size of the wallets that people own, okay, and the graph that's taken place as a result of this dump. We can see that the smaller wallets that take up quite a large percent, so 10% of people own 2,500, 5% own 10,000, 4, 5, 6. You see what's going on here. So what we see right at the very top is the 0.01% of XRP holders. And we see the difference in the way that the chart has performed. So people have bought this up during this dump by an enormous way. And we see that the smaller wallets basically getting shaken out of a position, all of them getting shaken out of a position. The only wallets that haven't been shaken out of a position are the biggest ones, the whales. They seem to believe something that the smaller investors, and these guys aren't particularly small, that's not an insignificant amount of XRP, but they've been shaken out all the same. There's something about the 0.01% that treat this dump right now differently to how the vast majority, if not all, almost all, have seen this. They seem to think it's a buying opportunity for some reason. They seem to think that a move like this is a buying opportunity, and I would tend to agree with them, in all fairness. Yes, there's a lawsuit going on, and yes, there's exchanges in America that are halting and maybe even delisting XRP, and maybe that will have some form of a, excuse the pun, but a ripple effect where more will follow suit in other countries perhaps. But at the same time, if you follow where the money's going, the money seems to be going into, the richest of the rich, the people at the very, very top. They're looking at this as an opportunity to buy. So they know something that we don't, or maybe we do know something. All I can tell you is that I don't look behind the scenes of all the fundamentals and this, that, and the other, all the sneaky little ins and outs and bits and bobs. But what I can tell you is the money seems to suggest that the guys at the top are buying, and the chart seems to suggest that this is just basically all part of a market cycle, and it's completely unchanged. It's performing exactly how I expected it to, with or without this lawsuit taking place. And I thought I'd bring it to your attention because it is, like I say, I find it quite interesting. There's no such thing as a crystal ball, but as far as this chart is concerned, if I didn't know anything about the lawsuit or anything like that, I could look at this chart and I'd say, I expected that. Yeah. And I know that you could say that, well, how can you predict that there was going to be a lawsuit filed? I say, well, I wouldn't be able to predict that. But with or without that lawsuit, this chart is still behaving the way I expected it to on a weekly or a monthly performance. It's exactly the same as I expected it to. So in that respect, I have to look at this chart with the same lenses that I had before these big moves took place. So I anticipated that these moves would take place before they actually happened. I expected there to be a big move up, and I expected there to be a big move down before they happened. And like I say, you'll have to look at my previous market cycle video to see all of that. So again, with or without the reasons for these pumps and these dumps, the chart is still intact and is actually performing a carbon copy, give or take a few months, of how it reacted 4 years ago. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. I just thought that might be interesting to you guys. Anyway, it's like I say, there's a lot of reason to be worried about this lawsuit and regulations and stuff. But then there's also opportunity with sort of things like this, and the opportunities are certainly being taken advantage of by the super wealthy. So why shouldn't we take an opportunity when we see one as well? Again, I'm no financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.